And for more on golf's most anticipated tournament and the business of the sport, let's bring in Mike Bako, sports editor at dailynational.com. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Good to be with you.
Well, Augusta, what finally led it to open its course to women? Because it resisted pressure for decades, didn't it?
It resisted pressure for decades. Certainly, as you mentioned, the first members just coming in 2012, Condoleezza Rice, one of those first members. But what they're seeing is the changing of the times, the changing of the demographics also of who's playing golf, who's interested in golf. And honestly, the pressures from admitting women in a few years ago, seeing that that was something that was good for their brand. They're the most hallowed brand in golf. When you think about golf, you think about the US Open, the British Open, but there's only one place that every player wants to play at. There's only one place that when you say the words green jacket, you know exactly what they're talking about, and it's Augusta National and the Masters.
Well, I'm not a huge golf fan, so can you fill me in and others who may not be about the golfers to watch this year, both men and the women, please?
Right. Well, I think right now what you're thinking about with the Masters is you're thinking about one name, and you're thinking about the comeback of Tiger Woods. Not only has he brought himself all the way back into contention, he's the player right now that's going to bring in the casual fans. Certainly, if you look at the top of the leaderboard right now, you have recognizable names like Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, but the name that everyone wants to watch and the name that everyone's rooting for, no matter what's gone on in his personal life over the last few years, it's Tiger Woods. He's the one that's going to bring the casual fan to the TV. Certainly, Augusta National has everyone there in terms of ticket sales, in terms of revenue. Whoever wins, who's ever in the leaderboard is not going to affect that. But what you're looking at is TV ratings, international awareness, and just general interest of people that don't normally follow golf. But if they hear Tiger Woods is in the hunt, they're going to turn on the TV. And right now he is.
Yeah, you're talking about me there, because if Tiger Woods was on in his heyday, I mean, I would sit and watch it.
It was appointment TV.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember in the 70s and 80s, we had big personalities, Jack Nicklaus and all that sort of stuff. But we don't seem to have that so much anymore. So what's it going to take to increase interest, especially among people like me, and also women who might be turning on to watch the women's game and more for the first time?
Yeah, unfortunately, that is one of the problems that golf is having right now, that identifiable star that if Tiger Woods is not in a tournament, or if Phil Mickelson is not there, or Dustin Johnson is not there, what's going to bring in the casual fan? Unfortunately, right now, from a TV rating standpoint, that affects that. But from a casual golfer standpoint, you're seeing a diminishing role of golf in the U.S. sports landscape. You're seeing golf clubs closing. You're seeing fewer and fewer new players coming into golf. And I think what you're seeing is an eroding of golf interest. It's still always going to be there, still going to be a leisure activity. But in terms of golf closures, golf courses, over 200 closing in the last year. Some of those golf courses being turned into residential developments, being turned into open play park area in certain parts of the country and internationally. It's a problem that golf has, and I don't really see it changing. I think they overexpanded because of some of that interest that Tiger Woods brought in the late 90s and into the 2000s. They just thought that the popularity would continue. There would be new stars that would capture the U.S. and international attention. It just hasn't happened.
But it's funny because interest is growing in Asia, right? So why is that? Is it these names that are moving up the rankings?
Well, I think in Asia, there's multiple factors. One, there's in China, let's say, there's a lot more disposable income and some of the stigma associated with golf, that it's a rich man's sport, that it's not for the regular folk. That's really been diminished. They've opened up new golf courses. And one of the other things, especially in China, there's been initiatives to bring in younger golfers. There's been a focus on the fact that it's going to be an Olympic sport. So those are all things that are driving interest, driving resources that are being funded for younger golfers and golfers who might not have even thought about playing, say, 5 years ago. Now it's one of the sports that they're following and one of the sports that they're playing. So it's a big infrastructure benefit when it comes to a place like China.
I'm going to put you on the spot. US President Trump plays a lot of golf. Is that good or bad for the sport?
Well, I think when you actually see him playing, it's his own personal brand of golf. He is known to be a world-class cheater on the golf course as well. So I wouldn't look to him for golf form, but supposedly he is pretty good on the links.
Thanks so much. I'm sorry to put you on the spot there, but golfing presidents is kind of like a tradition here in the United States, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank
Good to be
you.
with